used on the first turn?
Yes, on that last question.
Okay.
It'll be, it's the first action. I think if it has the rage tag, that it is a thing that you can do whenever you rage.
Okay, and it's only while raging.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't have the rage tag, I can use it whenever?
Yes.
Okay, so like for example, perfect clarity. The trigger is you fail or critically fail an attack roll or will save, and it's basically just a free reroll with a +2. I can use that whenever, since it doesn't have the rage tag.
Yeah, sounds right.
Okay, because it says on the last line of the description, you then immediately stop raging, but it doesn't have the rage tag. So, is that a mistake on Foundry, or is it
Uh,
just I can use it whenever? I mean, I want to use it whenever. I'm not trying. It feels good if I could use it whenever, but
it's called perfect clarity.
yeah.
I don't think that one's core. Oh nope, there it is. 18. Oh, it's a level 18 feat.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't find it.
Oh, it
Yep.
says level
Oh,
1 for Barbarian.
you burn out all of your rage to ensure that your attack lands and your mind remains free.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you're raging, and then as part of that, it forces you to
Yeah.
stop raging.
Yeah, so perfect clarity is listed as a level 1 barbarian feat, so that would be a that'd be a foundry problem then, I see.
Yeah, because
That's
I know I have I think also level 11 on mine, but one of the cleric ones was listed as 1 as well.
so what's available at first is acute vision, moment of clarity, raging intimidation, raging thrower, and sudden charge.
Okay, so awesome blow is also listed as a level 1 feat. Is that not a level 1 feat? I mean, I don't want it, but it's
It
also
is a
listed.
14.
Okay, so perhaps might want to report that one to Foundry. Awesome blow and perfect clarity, or whatever. Yeah, perfect clarity and awesome blow. I guess those both should not be listed as level 1 uh, barbarian feats.
Okay, I'll put that on the GitHub tracker. Thank you very much.
All right, Fade.
Not a problem.
Yes, sir.
So my familiar's perception,
Yes.
acrobatics, and stealth should all be 5. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Just get rid of that because we don't need it.
If it attempts an attack roll or other skill check, it uses my level as its modifier.
Okay. I don't have a way to really do that through NPC melee attack. What we can run damage at least through it. So use your level as its modifier.
Yeah.
Oof. Familiars ain't good at attacking things. Permapore. Okay. I think everything else is good.
I think so.
Yeah, because it still keeps its special senses. It's just those things that change.
It can communicate with me within a mile. Nifty.
I think telepathy is an option here.
Is open for only the first turn of combat, or for the first action each round of your turn?
There you go. I added that to its languages. Sorry, say again?
Is the open trait associated with only the first round of combat, or the first action you make during a turn?
I'm pretty sure it's the first action you make in a turn.
Okay, so it can be used every turn, as long as it's the first action you make each turn?
I think so. Maneuvers work only as the first salvo on your turn. Can use an open only if you haven't used an action with the attack or open trait
Okay.
yet this turn.
Okay,
So
okay.
you can use other sorts of actions before it, but the whatever has open has to be used first.
Okay.
Of actions that are attack or open. So you could move deadly aim, but you couldn't move attack deadly aim.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, so in the case of sudden charge, I guess it would be sudden charge and then something else, or something else
Or
and then sudden charge.
yeah, move, sudden charge, or sudden charge into another attack or something like that.
So you rocket across the battlefield with your 3 moves and an attack.
Yep. Just yeet myself 75 feet across the battlefield and smack somebody in the face.
For reference, if you guys need explanation on particular traits, there you go. There's a full accounting of all of the traits in the system right there. You can usually just Control F it, and it should be in here. Most of the time.
Okay, also, certain things are tagged as rage on Foundry, and they are not tagged as rage under Archives of Nethys. Which one of these should I believe?
I would defer to the Archives of Nethys,
Okay,
because that's where most of these informations are being pulled from to begin with.
got it.
Okay, that's fixed. That is fixed. Whew. I am nerve-sighted.
I
Really need to
think,
convert these.
think I'm good. Not positive, but think TM I'm good.
Nice. Is it because it's that large? I really like these tracks, except for the fact that some of them have been rendered out as .wav files. Which means I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll add that to my playlist. It's how many megabytes? 22.4. I need to come up with a macro that automatically spits out a OGG version of whatever track I throw at this thing. Yes, it's right there. Wait, no, not there. Just throw it to assets. Yes. Okay.
Is there something like Roll20 where I can check a box that says, hey, I'm currently raging, this, and this automatically happens?
there is a macro for it.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing the macro doesn't do is it won't take away the temporary hit points when you end.
And I'm not sure it adds to your attack damage.
It does do that. At least if
Oh,
you're talking about the one that you gave me to use on Grabble.
okay, cool.
It also seems like I don't have any macros anymore.
I haven't replaced them yet. Correct.
I don't have any on my little hotbar down bottom or in the macros directory. So like
Yes,
the
I'll have to throw some to you. Which ones? Type out in chat which ones you need, and I shall start adding them to your character.
I guess the rage one and the knowledge one from last time.
Okay.
I don't. What is there a list of macros somewhere? I thought I saw it somewhere on Foundry.
Yeah. If you want to try and grab them this right here should get you ready to go.
Is there a
There
way
you
to
go.
change the thumbnail on the macros that we create?
Yes. But it apparently can't search my hard drive because it doesn't have permissions, I guess.
Ah.
So just let me know and I'll fix them for you.
Nah, it's all good.
I apologize. Like mine have customs. I mean, they're not fancy, but
I think it also actually does work just with the numpad if you have something selected.
yeah, they work like MMO hotkeys. If you just tap the associated number, it'll just go right off.
Yeah, there it is. As long as you have everything selected.
I think I broke it with my music, which is interesting. It's not accepting. Well, okay, I guess we'll use default music for today. Yay!
Be that way.
It be that way.
I'm okay with default music. If I'm hovering over a character sheet like I currently am, can you see my mouse cursor moving in a circle around the map?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
We
interesting.
just can't see what you're circling over.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, so you can always tell when somebody's on a chart because their mouse just moves completely differently.
Yeah.
If the DM looks panicked, it's because they're not. Yeah.
It's because they're flipping through the 37 windows they have open.
Right.
Never happens.
If I tab out like this, can you see my cursor move?
No.
Okay, so it's
Mm.
completely still.
Yep.
What about?
Yep.
What
It only
about now?
captures while screen's active.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep, you can see it.
Interesting.
That there. Or here. I lack space. Okay, so everyone good to go?
Did you
Yep.
add the rage and knowledge macro?
Oh. No, but 1 second. Module settings. Token hotbar. Always linked to actor.
It seems as though everyone's color has also kind of become more androgynous, and I don't want to point any fingers, but I was blue first, so some other people want to, get out of here, Need my elbow room. Just saying. Or I can go back to being black. I don't mind that either. but that seemed to cause more problems.
There. Now we have a rainbow.
Perfect.
Except me, I'm gonna be special.
Let's say I haven't seen many rainbows, but I don't know that that's quite the right order.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, make sure that I have access to all this. I do. Good. This is a hexagon style map. So movement may be a bit weird with WASD. Just letting you guys know. Let's see, so we're currently here.
Did it add the macros for me? I don't see
I don't
any.
think so. Hang on.
I can get the knowledge one from last time, at least if I just scroll up in our chat enough, but I don't. I guess I can grab the rage one from the OneDrive.
I'm adding it. Check out. Oh, why did it? Hang on. It'll be on page 2. It's currently set to use page 5. Use page 2, please. Thank you. Okay. Now we don't have to click 1,000 times. Page 2. And you wanted rage and what else?
The recall knowledge, I guess. Is there any that are just like necessary to have?
If you have a shield, I would recommend getting a shield race.
Then yeah, I'll take that one as well. I probably won't be using it that much, but it would be good to have it just in case. Of course, hero point / give would also be nice, but you know, understandable if you don't want that one.
Give? Sorry?
Hero point give,
Oh,
the important macro.
I appreciate your ambition.
Yeah.
Okay, rage. I need to make that one notification. Because it needs to tell you when you are not raging as well.
Do I only have one rage per day, or do I have infinite as long as I wait a certain amount of time, or?
I think you just have infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think it doesn't like exhaust you or anything either, I don't think.
No. I just can't rage again for 1 minute after stopping. I like that. I think putting a cap on how angry you can be is not very in character for barbarians. If I'm angry 1 minute, maybe I'll calm down for a minute,
I
but
don't know, there's some days where like if you end up angry all day, you just get like tired from it by the end of the day.
I guess that's true. I guess, that
At least
makes
that's my
yeah,
experience with being angry.
you make a good point.
Okay, raise shield. I shall give you some nice iconography while I'm at it. So that's what I'm going to use my hundreds of dollars of game development assets for.
Ooh, actually, if I could get a icon on Ray's shield, that would be nice as well.
Put it on your page 2
Okay.
of your character. Okay, that's all set up correctly. What happens if I do this? Okay, cool. Good job, Kios. Good job.
What's happening?
You gave everybody 10 XP.
Oh, dude, nice.
Nice.
Huh. Thanks.
Look at me go.
It's more useful already.
I mean, I can't even debate that though.
Okay. That's working. Select random characters still isn't working. But that's fine. And my implementation of my own little book is working all right. So I can just roll NPCs whenever I feel like it. Cool. Poof. Let's roll this thing back a bit. Because it is not that date.
Gosh, I just sent me.
Nice. Well, I guess the COVID got tired of waiting for us to come to it. Alright. We are in Melt. On Fire's Day. For those who are interested in such minutiae, it is 33 degrees today. Completely overcast, and light drizzles are possible. Both of the moons are in their third quarter.
33 degrees in like real temperature or fake people temperature?
In the game, but in F.
In F,
Okay.
okay.
I
Yeah,
was about
real
to say,
people
'cause
temperature
F
then.
and C are completely
Yeah.
different concepts
Yeah.
of that temperature.
Yeah, 33 degrees real people temperature. Got it, okay.
Okay, cool. I had to tidy something up real quick. So, it's been a while. Let's get
Indeed.
reacquainted. To recap the events of the past, it's been 5 weeks now. To start things, you descended on the town of Rockdale, far to the southeast of where you are now. There were a number of problems that you decided to assist with, culminating in the investigation of a gravekeeper in a northward town. Something weird was going on down in the basement, where you found a chained up coffin which contained a strange creature within it, whom you initially called 14. After a brief encounter with the gravekeeper, which landed the area in ruin, but the party nonetheless alive, you were escorted back to Rockdale with a retinue of the Lord's guards and watch. On your way through the forests, something horrible stalked you in a heavy fog, and leaving your guard to their devices, you escaped back to town. And at the forest edge, the rain that had been plaguing the region for several months finally broke. Unperturbed, you headed into town to give this new companion of yours, 14, some comfort and also, hopefully, divulge some into their past. There you met Father Greatbender, who was speaking with a local witch fae of sorts, a wish granter, at least if you believe legend, who offered, in exchange for the delivery of a certain item to a certain person through the hands of another, that they would speed the recovery of this person who found themselves in your retinue. The pact was agreed. Some of the memories began to slowly recover at your option. And not long after that, the Reeve summoned the party to his audience hall. There, you were by surprise met with the captain of the guard force that had been sent out to escort you back, and surprised to find her not only reprimanded for abandoning you, but also an assignment of sorts, which you were to be briefed on once you arrived at Grenholt after a several days' journey to the north via caravan. Setting off on the road with 14 in tow, you were accosted by men in strange robes who had curious helmet attire with purple flames licking on their interiors. As best you could tell, they were a foreign military force far from the east, Avgard, and they seemed only interested in the well-being and interests of the person named 14 in your retinue. After encouraging them that you are on the up and up, and that you also had her interests in mind, they decided to leave you alone and disappeared back into the tall grass from which they emerged. The caravan arrived at Grenholt, and you found your way into the city, and to the House Wisathel's small-ish, for a noble house at least, apartments. Up several locked and tightly guarded floors, you met with Lord Grim Wisithel, who more or less impressed on you a particular task. It seems, though it hadn't been made public yet, that the king had died, and there were soon to be issues with succession. In hopes that the prince would remain incognito until the time that they were to be crowned, and also out of a concern for spies within the house, you all were tasked with guarding this man for the foreseeable future. If you turn to the calendar up there, it's currently the 22nd of the second month, and that was 2 weeks ago that you acquired the prince. That's 14 days out of the 48 that you'll need to pass before you'll have successfully completed this task set upon you by the House Wisithel. Gifted a hold that's been in the house's long and nebulous series of hidden assets, which turned out to be haunted, of all things. You sequestered yourselves and the prince after being pursued through the streets by a number of masked and otherwise uncertain parties. Nonetheless, you'd evaded them all, or at least you were pretty sure that you had, and bunked up for several days, investigating into the mystery surrounding the spirit upstairs, and the curious nighttime issues of the prince, which were manifest in puzzling ways as reality itself seemed to distort and bend. The prince let you in on a secret, that he was found by the edge of the Godwood. Yet, nonetheless, was fathered by his father, the now late king. The next day past that was to be the procession which led to the king's funeral rites being served. which involved the more or less passage of his coffin from the plaza in the center of the city to the citadel in the north. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. Not only did the night before you encounter strange people lurking on rooftops whom you managed to drive off and find weird and strange connections to, even though they weren't directly related to the prince. Namely, a faction of Sarin royalty that no longer exists was seeking audience with a priest for unannounced reasons. And they just so happened to decide to meet directly outside of where you'd been held up. The morning brought with it the procession and a tremendous tragedy. The crowds that were mourning soon turned to riotous anger, and though you were able to barricade yourselves in the safe house and evade much of the harm that transpired outside, very few of those that were celebrating, or at least mourning, the king's death were left alive. During this madness, 14 practically threw herself out of the doors and cursed at the demigod Kernovas, who had decided to make himself a statue some 2 floors up and down at the end of the street, watching the carnage below. The House Wizathel's trusted advisor, General Haufing, soon after arrived, looking for the prince and your safety, and led you through a series of labyrinthine sewer trails to what appeared to be the underside of a grand tomb, where he encouraged you all to rest while he gathered information. After this, he returned with a tip that you might find more information at a nearby auction, and that they would be moving the prince and you to a more secure location southward in the city. As it happens, while you were on the road to said location, the caravan was attacked, set upon by all manner of brigands and thieves, no doubt taking advantage of the city's state of chaos. Though you managed to fend off the attackers, the prince vanished, seemingly into thin air, but later discovered to be through a hole in the ground. Though you pursued where you presumed his attackers went and chased them through the sewers, it turned out to be an elaborate illusion, and heading back up, you could find no trace nor track of the prince in question. But the city guard found you, and despite your attempts at evading them, you were captured and thrown into jail. At that time, you were more or less rescued by an ambassador to a foreign consulate, whom was harboring, apparently, a prince in exile from the lands of Fira. After a strange game was played, he furthered your information and gave you a reliable source, whom you could meet in any pub, so long as you knew his name, though he urged you to say it only once. Doing so, after the game's conclusion, you met with a old scythe of the Vosham Church, an assassin, called Irido. And there he told you that you could find more information at the same auction that was mentioned by Haufing earlier, and in fact gave you the names of 2 people to look out for in particular. And so, donning disguises and namesakes, you headed off to that party and made yourself available during the biddings that were then proceeding. One of the people that was pointed out to you sold a particularly valuable item and was contested by a local lord for effectively forgeries of paperwork. Nonetheless, those forgeries turned out to be actual, and the importance of them was that they were signed by the prince's signet ring, which, of course, is only available to the prince. Taking her aside, you all met at a pub not far from the city center, where you discussed how she might enlighten you as to the prince's location. And in exchange, she would have you guard a warehouse and ask no questions about it. And that brings us to the current hour, on the current day, as she gets up from her booth and leaves.
Now, do you have all that written down somewhere so that I can read it again? Not right now, but it was like 7 minutes of monologue, and I'm better if I can like physically see something while reading it to remember it.
I agree.
don't have it written down.
Okay, I thought you were reading from a script there. You were just remembering all of it? Oof.
Yep.
Alright,
This is the burden of a DM.
understandable. Have a nice day. Alright, I remember all of I remember a significant chunk of that happening, especially the more recent things. Just would be nice to have our exploits written down.
I could try and
No.
commit
If you
them
don't,
to paper
if you
once.
don't already have it, then don't worry about it.
Oh no, I mean once the today's game is over. I believe Kios is streaming the game, right?
Yes, I am streaming the game right now. Hold on. I can put this up.
I
suppose
do
can just
have
watch
I do
it
have
live.
rough notes of what we've done, but they aren't the best at times.
So if you go
Sorry.
that, it should be up for 4 months. Unfortunately, they like to delete after 4 months. So
Yeah.
we have lost
Yeah.
everything. Well, I have downloaded like a couple, but we've more or less lost everything up until here.
Just according to K-Cop here. No one can contest my mistakes. I did leave a couple of things out. Minutia, like the particulars of the game in question, and that they brought out some sort of strange crystal to talk to you guys. The person that knows the prince and has their insignia somehow. They wanted to verify your identity somehow. I'm not quite sure how they did so. But yeah, I've omitted some of that stuff for time. But if you would like me to, once the game's over, I'll pull that clip up and I'll type out what I wrote, or rather what I said, and I'll make that a document in the journal for you.
You did say something about the quest list. How do we access it again? I can't remember.
So what you want to do is you want to click on the open book icon, and at the bottom of it there will be a button called Quest Log. Clicking that should pop up the thing, and in the In Progress tab, there is a quest called Protecting the Prince.
That'd do it.
Anything that has a dash through it is a objective that was failed or missed. Anything that is checked has been completed. Anything that is not checked in any way, or rather not marked, is your current objective.
My fiance sneezed, and I muted my mic. Waited a couple seconds, thought I was fine, unmuted my mic, and she sneezed again.
Oh, so that's
I
what
was-
the reverse
that's-
I was about
vacuum
to
sound
say,
was.
are you okay?
Well, that's what it was.
I was wondering if you were being currently killed
Nah,
through stabbing of the neck.
just thought I would have to, thought I should Warn everyone that's what that was.
Oh god, yeah, that would get Kios's stream taken down. Somebody's murdered on it.
Yeah, fucking show up in the next top 10 streamers video or some shit like that.
Oh, quick reminder of the political landscape without going into any detail. There are three factions. There are either opposed or for the ascension of the prince that you're familiar with, Prince Tiagda, to the throne. The faction that is for him is House Wizithel, and the two factions that are against him are House Altarma and House Golrima. And you're not quite sure what Voss has to do with all this, but he's also somehow involved.
Oh yeah, and Steve gave him our fucking address.
That's right.
God
I
damn it,
Yes,
told him
Steve.
my name.
There,
Besides, we lost that house.
that may have been related to the events that transpired
yeah,
the
probably.
following day.
Or the other stuff that went on with that before
fairness-
the name part.
In fairness, you didn't really have much time to investigate, so you don't know. You have no idea. You have no evidence that that is, in fact, what happened.
What were the two houses against us?
Golrima and Altarma.
Got it.
I'll spell them out for you, so you, because they have
That
somebody
would be
experienced
nice.
spelling.
Thank you.
They are, in fact, led by people of the same name, Lady Altarma and Lord Golrima.
Did we meet Lady Altarma? That seems very familiar.
She's been brought up a number of times.
Okay.
I think she was at the auction.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps, yes.
She was in the background, yeah.
Wasn't she the person that Vincent sold the spear to?
Nah,
Or is that somebody else?
that person's name was Vesper. Do we know anything about her?
Not too much, other than that she owns a apparently booming mercantile guild,
Okay.
which was at one point on the verge of bankruptcy.
All right. Well, good for her. She's brought it back.
Apparently,
Does she have any strong political feelings one way or another?
you didn't ask.
That's true.
Are we guarding her right now?
No, I think that's a different.
No, that's
Another house.
Sarah Fabukin.
Oh.
Are we bringing back divination cards for Foundry? Or are we not doing that? Like the
If you would like me to.
I
I
love
enjoyed
divination
this.
cards. Yes,
I'm gonna go to the
7
bathroom
down
here quick,
acquisition.
but I picked number 3.
That's right. Pick whichever one has the green tent on it.
Let me see if I can do this really quick. So what I want to do is I want to link to a entity that is a. You know what? I'll just do it on Roll20, and I'll have a better interface for this next time.
Nice.
All right, so this is going to be an even more blind draw than normal. There are 3 cards: 1, 2, and 3. Please vote for your number of card in the public chat.
You know, I'll just take 3. I like 3. Steve wanted 3. I'll take 3.
I'm choosing 1.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Philip, do you have a preference on which divination card? 1 or 3?
Not 2. No one can choose 2.
2 is illegal.
If you choose 2, then you're a bad person.
Unless it's one of the days where we decide that we chose 2.
Surprise! It's the card that you didn't pick. Okay, Marv, it's down to you.
Since
I
Marv
think
is
he's
dead,
AFK
I'm
at the
gonna
moment.
I
go
think
and.
he said BRB a minute ago because now he's on mobile.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on, he's messaging me now. Hold on.
since he's dead, I'm gonna go refill my water.
I thought you were gonna vote for him. I have no faith in my players.
This is not what I meant when I said say 1 or 3 in the chat.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. If it's a 1 to 10, he chooses 1. If it's an 11 to 20, he chooses 3.
Damn.
Okay, well
Well-
now it's 2v2. This is not helpful. Roll again.
Yep. So low is 1 to 10 is card 1. 11 to 20 is card 3. Well, that's pretty clear.
Damn. That's it. Time to riot.
That's it.
Put these back in the deck. And I'll go ahead and flip it so that I know what it is. Ooh,
Two
it's
of
an
cups.
upside down draw. So it's inverted. That's my first inverted draw. I'm going to write that down in a journal entry real quick. Actually, I'll make it a quest log. Yeah. This is now a quest. This was assigned by the Fate Weaver. Quest title is The Drawn Card. Okay. So at any point, you can ask me to reveal that quest, and I will do so, and the card's effects will go off. As close as I can apply it to the situation at hand. And if not applicable to the current situation, then the broader situation or the situation afterwards.
I say we use it no matter what's happening in half an hour.
Half an hour? About
Session ender.
43 minutes from now. We use it no matter what.
Exactly 43 minutes.
Start a timer. 43 minutes. Come on.
Okay, let me start the clock. All right. Currently, your position is this star. That is your map position. And in case you're wondering, the scale is set to about 1 mile per hex. For reference,
That's a big city.
Yes. This is the largest city, more or less, in this side of the continent. It's one of the larger ones in the world, too. I think it's the third largest city in total. I don't count most of Quinoa, even though it's technically larger, because only about 30% of it is populated. Even though it is physically larger. Where did I put that? I'm trying to find the amount of time it takes to move a mile. Should be an exploration, right? I bet it is, but I bet it's in the full book because I forgot to copy that table.
Okay, so this is off topic, but I want to share it anyway because I found it interesting. Gnomes weigh approximately 40 pounds. Okay, 40 pounds. That's how much a gnome weighs. All right. Reduce decreases a creature's weight to 1/8. So 1/8 of 40 is 5 pounds. So if you cast Reduce on a gnome, he becomes 5 pounds. And then he can use Mage Hand to fly around.
Also, I think according to Nethys, it's basically just a tenth of the speed is miles per hour.
Yep, that's what I'm saying too.
I'm
So
back,
I think
by the way.
2 miles an hour probably, because I
Yep.
can only move 20.
It took way longer than I thought. My bad.
No problem. Don't worry about it.
Just the recap, though. You have to remember
I know, I'll
everything that
figure it
happened in
out.
the campaign. You better remember
Oh,
right
no.
now
Yeah,
every single thing
Were,
that happened.
were you actually gone for that whole recap?
Yes, I like no joke. Yeah,
I
I'll
vaguely
figure it
remembered
out.
you saying I'll be right back, but
Yeah, I didn't want to make everyone wait for me. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out or get like a freaking literal 2-minute Cliff Notes version later.
okay. We do, since JC is streaming, you can wench the VOD of the recap, and then you'll be recapped.
Just for brevity, and so you have at least some idea what's going on then. You're currently in a tavern just outside the city center where you met with somebody who claimed to know pretty thoroughly where the prince is and how you might meet them because they somehow have access to his insignia ring. And in exchange for that information, they want you to guard a warehouse tomorrow. No questions asked.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I now that you've said that, I remember significantly more than I did before, so that actually helped all that.
Sometimes it just takes a little push.
Yep. I get you.
All right. So, the appointed time for all of this to happen will be. Oh, sorry. Let me stop the time and reset it a little bit. Let's see. It is currently 12:35 p.m. on the 21st of 1336 on the second month. Done. So that's going to happen. They're going to at least expect you at around 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. Until that time, you guys have free time. So you may want to refer to your downtime activities. Some of them will take longer than others. In case there's anything that you do particularly want to do.
Downtown activities are under race, not class, right?
You can click on the open book thing and into the player reference guide folder. I've typed up some of the stuff for you guys.
Oh, okay. Activities downtown. I see.
There isn't a whole lot of things you can do in the approximately 16 hours. But there is some stuff.
Do we have proper lodging and food for the night? For the next 16 hours? Is
Well,
Wistafel Bro
that's-
helping us out?
that is kind of an issue right now. Yes. Halfing said
Mr.
that he would come talk to you guys at some point later today. But beyond that, I mean, you were kind of hiding out in the bottom of the Grand Tomb, and then you did this after being thrown into a jail. So you've kind of been hopping around the place with no home.
I have. Where is it at?
It might not be a bad idea to secure lodging.
Sure, we all collectively have about 50 gold already, so
I have,
hopefully it's nothing too expensive.
Yeah, if you find an inn that's worth 50 gold,
What happened to our
let me
house?
know.
I mean, it's still fucked
Oh,
up.
it's still there.
Doesn't it? Yeah,
It's
I was-
still there. It
I
just
mean,
doesn't have a front door and
Yeah.
is.
I thought. Okay, I thought it. Yeah, I thought it was like the front.
15
The entire
Ripa.
front of it was gone.
How much we thinking, Fate, for materials to fix that? Fix what's broken.
To fix the door?
Well, to fix
not
what's
too
broken
much.
in general.
Oh, in general?
Yeah.
Maybe 110 gold in total.
Hey, how much for just the door then?
That's probably something like 3 gold.
Alright, well, I have 5. If anybody else wants to help me out.
I have 10.
I have
Well,
2.
Which check are we saying?
Does anyone have craft?
I
Yeah,
have
that's
plus
a good
4 to
point.
crafting.
No.
But
I
I'm
have-
untrained.
Yeah, I have +1 and I'm untrained.
Plus 4. Figure plus 4 is good enough, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can just jury rig crap onto the front of the house. I'm sure it won't all fall
Just-
apart.
Just buy a door and set
Yeah.
it up against the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, everybody there is obviously law-abiding, perfectly reasonable citizens that will not try to yoink everything from the house.
Well, I mean, it's also directly in front of where one of the biggest massacres in the history of the town probably happened, like
Yeah,
2 days ago. So there probably aren't
Hmm.
many people poking around to begin with.
Yeah.
no, but
Did that
Not
actually
not to put
happen,
a
or was
damper
it
on
a
things,
dream?
but
Yeah,
it
that
is
actually
still
happened.
technically increasing the body count. The,
Mm.
the event hasn't ended just yet.
Ah, well,
Mm.
that makes it even safer. People
Oh,
are
well
still
then,
dying.
if people are still roaming around killing other people, then I'm not going back there. What the fuck?
People are roaming around killing other people everywhere.
No, I meant
The-
like,
But more
specifically.
so
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And I mean like on a genocide scale.
It's not quite there, but it's definitely gangs of New York at the moment.
All right, so in that case, can't we go back to the sneaky hideout place that we were taken to that one time just to get a cot or something?
Yeah, you could try to remember where that was. You could either gather information to try and find where it was, or do a reverse track on yourself to kind of backtrack.
I have a decent survival skill check.
Same.
Well,
I have
I've got
+5, and I'm
as
I got
trained.
8.
got this skill feat. Does that apply
Then
here?
We'll move to exploration mode instead of downtime, and all of the exploration activities are available. Until you guys find a place to bunk down. And all of those activities are available in the player reference guide. How it works is you can choose to do any of those activities during exploration, and you keep doing them until you decide you're not.
I didn't mean to hit that button.
It's a big.
Wait, it's been hit. I'm contacting the proper authorities.
It's been hit. Oh no.
I'm sure they'll be right there just as soon as they're done with the big gangs.
Yep.
Worth noting that while we were outside of combat, we're generally in exploration, unless you guys are in a location where you're spending a bunch of time to more or less recuperate.
Alright.
I guess it would be search, wouldn't it? No, not search.
No, I mean, it would be the track,
Yeah.
probably, to find where we were.
I don't know. I think it's worth it.
Well, I have
I mean,
pithy
we can also
craft.
just pay for an inn for, like, the one night that it matters.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
true. You could
'Cause
do
we'll
it without
get
an
an
investigate
income
and just whomever you whatever inn you find first. That's the one.
Yeah.
Try and find one somewhat close to the warehouse.
That's true.
Well, like I said, have like a +1 crafting and I'm untrained, so I am not a very good crafter. That being said, can I attempt to make a door while we are resting?
You can start on one. Yeah.
Alright.
Does anyone have the mending spell?
Yes, but I think we need the pieces of the door to
Yeah.
True.
actually mend. I think it's a 10th level spell to just create a door out of a moat of door.
That's such an unnecessary. You can make anything with this 10th level spell, and you made a door.
Maybe it's a really good door.
It could
No.
be a really good door. It has sentimental value, you know.
Yeah, I can't replace lost pieces or repair an object that's been completely destroyed.
Well, it's not a lost piece though. See, it's like it's not, it's not completely destroyed because we have a piece of it. It's not a lost piece. The entire rest of the door is the piece. You just make a new door. You know.
It's true.
So
Can I
what's
roll out
the
to
what's the
touch that?
party feeling?
I'd say just find an inn. We probably shouldn't go back to the house
Yeah.
outside the
Yeah.
massacre.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a poke on the map where you guys want to investigate for an inn.
Yes, where is the warehouse we're supposed to be defending here tomorrow?
I think it's.
There.
Yeah, I was
And
saying I thought
Is
it was.
there
I'd
I'd say-
imagine
is
probably
there district for
that area.
Anywhere there.
Okay.
Okay.
Whom in the party has the highest society?
Not me.
I have a 1.
I have 0 in
Oh,
that.
I have 4.
I have a 7
Nice.
diplomacy, but no society.
I have 4.
Give me a society.
Yikes.
It's not bad. You kind of pick and choose who you're going to talk to, as things are still quite dicey. And you think you find somebody who's got somewhat reputable look, and you ask them where they would bunk down for the night. And they direct you to a inn. Is right. Let me mark it on the map for you guys. Here, I will literally mark it with an X.
Okay.
marks the spot?
Also, didn't we actually start in an inn?
Yes,
Nice.
and in the last game too. Although you owned that inn technically. Okay, so you guys will travel off in that direction, and I will request a recall knowledge of some sort. So whomever feels like they have the most appropriate lore skill to find the inn at this location, give me that roll.
Well, I have a forest lore, so that won't really help
I
anybody.
have scribing. Can read the signs.
That's not an unfair argument for it.
That would be the best, because mine is literally
Vincent
the
or,
opposite of a city.
Mars have anything?
I have
Well,
the
okay. So
experience tracker, but
okay.
other than that,
So I actually do, and I didn't write it on the sheet because I meant to ask about it. I did pick street urchin background and have lore of the city that I lived in. I would assume it would be this city, or I would like it to be this city, I suppose.
It can be the city.
Yeah. So I suppose I have that lore.
That
Okay.
would probably be the most apt, I'd imagine.
Mhm. Certainly directly relevant. All right,
Yeah.
give me a roll.
All right. I have to
Warfare lore.
add it to my.
Magical.
Well, okay. So this is just added to my sheet. So oh wow. All right.
They really do be that way.
Yeah, it do. It really do.
Yikes.
All right, well, you head down that way. You are heading from the Sunrise District into what's called the Hills. Not named because they have higher elevation, but because a lot of the buildings are dome-shaped at the top around here. Ha ha. Let me zoom in here real quick. Okay, so to get from here to where you think it will take you 2 hours. It is now 3 o'clock in the morning, or in the afternoon. And you guys scout around in the area where you got led on to. Marv, you take the lead. You know enough of the city to avoid the most dangerous establishments. That it's a DC 5 for you to know where all the smugglers and crime lords make their base in the city. As they're rather infamous, and you would much rather not go to those sorts of locations. Additionally, you're gonna be able to dodge anything that's owned by House Golrama or House Oltarma because you know the city.
Alright. Might see somebody I know. I don't want
You
that.
might.
Eh,
Well, if it's from House Wizithel, that's not terrible. I mean, you
Uh.
are doing this to get new repute. Although, technically, you haven't been forgiven yet.
Well, I was mainly referring to the whole, I was kidding, but all the freaking crime lords and whatnot, and.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I was just screwing around. Anyway, point being, um, man, I wish I could think. All right, never mind.
I know that feel.
Yeah, I keep doing that lately. I have something, I go on a train of thought, and then it just kind of crashes into a wall.
Seconds. Wait, no. Stop it. Okay, that's much better. Thank you. Sorry, I still don't have a whole bunch of spontaneous creatures just yet, and the creation process does take me a few seconds for certain stuffs. I need. That's great. I'll just upload from my game development bundle. What else is it for? But you guys head down this kind of dilapidated looking street that's off the side of street of one of the larger roads. So it's a little bit out of the way. Plus side, much less traffic, which means that this is at least going to be somewhat more incognito than other options that would be right on the road. That's your travelers' inns and inns that are dedicated to nobility and so forth, who are going to be right on the road and very fancy and call themselves out. Additionally, they're going to have, record-keeping books and the like. And I presume that you guys would like to avoid that sort of thing. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Check that took. Did you catch any of that, by the way? Or did my mic cut out?
No, we got
Yeah.
it.
I'm good.
I got it.
No
It's
arguments for
harder
now.
for me to tell because it's voice activated.
Said correct you if you're wrong, and nobody corrected you. I mean, what else do you want from us?
Oh.
Drama.
That's a reasonable request.
That's
I mean-
it. JC, I hated living with you. You were an awful
Oh,
roommate.
No, I know.
Go down.
Same.
Hey, in-game drama. In-game drama.
Oh, okay. Kios, you're an awful roommate. I hated living with you.
You're the worst uncle. You've been voted off the Uncle Island.
You were gonna ruin Tiagda's childhood.
How has it come to this?
Where'd we go wrong?
I was supposed to be better. I was supposed to be the good DM. Okay, good enough for now. What do you mean interior? Some of the adjectives. Sorry, 1 second. You roll that. I'll take frustrated. Okay, before long, you find yourselves at a inn. It's a little shanky, by which I mean it looks like a place that some people might get shanked at, and it looks a little shaky. This particular inn is Silver and Cross, so indicated by the placard out front, depicting rather unflattering depictions of its namesakes. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. it's pretty empty this time of day, or at least you don't think that it's supposed to be any less empty than it currently is. A lone woman is sitting behind a somewhat dumpy-looking bar. Excuse me, the brawl of the bar almost got to me. As is typical, she is cleaning a mug and looks distractedly up from it. Drinking or staying?
Yes.
Why not both?
Both. Yeah.
¿Qué más dos? Wait, is that how you say that? ¿Qué más dos?
¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos?
She'll give you all a look. You feel appraised. All right. Let's call it. Wait, she looks at all of you. How many rooms?
How many beds to a room?
How many do you need?
One.
We can take 4, but if you're charging something like 200 gold a room, we can take 1.
I mean,
Probably
Do you
2
pay
rooms
that?
with 2 beds each.
No, we
Guys,
can't fucking pay that.
it's 33 degrees outside. We need to, conserve body heat. I'm just saying, I mean, one bed is fine. Just say no homo beforehand. Leave your socks on. It's fine.
Leave your
Yeah.
socks
Enter a
on.
sleeping stack.
Yeah.
Here's
Not
your
naked, it's
bedroll.
not gay.
Okay. She'll say, all right, 10 silver, and I want another gold piece up front. She looks at the half grinning.
Oof.
Gold piece up front.
What race is she? Hold on. She just a human?
She's Sabetian.
Isn't it like 100 to 1 ratio for the tiers?
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
ridiculous.
No, it's 10 to the next one. So 10 silver is 1 gold, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's 10 silver to 1 gold. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, she just wants 2 gold.
2 gold
Mhm.
for what? 1 room for all 4 of us, or
For all 4 of you.
all
You can
4?
either have 2 rooms or 1 room with 4 beds.
Is
Your
the
choice.
upfront like a security deposit? Do we get that back
Yeah.
after?
Yeah, can I have that?
We'll see
back,
if you
please?
get it back after sure. It depends on the state of the room.
All
Let's
right.
see how it is.
I'd like
I
to.
mean,
I'd like to try and. Oh,
it's a reasonable business practice.
if
No, yeah,
what can we
that's-
do to what is? It's gonna be.
We don't need to nickel and dime the bartender.
I'm gonna nickel and dime this bitch.
That's how we get
Okay.
stabbed.
Can I use my occultism or arcana to,
Occultism.
to
Please
convince her
explain.
otherwise?
What occultism are you going to use?
I'm just gonna be like,
Uh.
I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom and then I summon Cthulhu out of the toilet.
Summon a toilet
Summon
demon.
a demon. Look at that. There's people summoning demons in your tavern. I won't pay 2
Yeah.
gold for that.
It's like just
Okay.
freaking saying you found a hair in your food, except it's just random toilet Cthulhu.
Got him.
No, I'm perfectly. That price is perfectly fine.
No,
Yeah,
I want a nickel and dimer.
No.
What's the skill check for nickel and diming someone?
It
Society?
depends on how you want to do it.
I don't know, just regular
Can I
haggling?
impress her with my knowledge of demons?
Can I?
Can I just use
suppose.
diplomacy to bargain before
Yeah.
one of these idiots
I don't
gets
know.
us kicked out?
I
Sure,
want a
make-
nickel and dime.
You know, how much did she say?
2 gold?
I
Alright,
would
I'm
say
going
that you. I would say that you could make a request of her.
I'm going to
However-
stick 2 gold onto the counter and ask her where the room is.
I'll don't worry, I'll daze her. It'll make her stunned.
No.
And then with that, we can say that. What does she lose when she's stunned?
Her actions. She can't.
Oh,
She can't move from her current location.
never mind then.
Yeah, don't cast a spell at the friendly bartender.
I could have picked up the witch
Well,
feet
I'm
where
going
it's
to,
like I can.
I'm going
I can,
to gesture,
I can
gesture
hide.
toward the 2 gold that I have thrown onto the counter, and again ask where the room is.
Well, it might be. Hang on. She's. There you go. As I was going to say earlier, you could make a request of her, except that requires her to be helpful, or an ally.
Hmm.
She is definitely neither of those.
Can I go off around on a rant about the state of the society that we live in, where
I mean, nothing's stopping you.
four poor men coming in, looking for a bed to sleep in,
A single
and
bed.
the greed established by the corporations has made this woman need that gold, and I understand that, but we need it too.
Here?
We
Is-
live in a
is-
society.
Is this the room?
I suppose you could make such an argument. However, she is much more currently interested in the 2 gold pieces that are before her.
I'm looking for the room. Aside from any.
She'll yell back. She'll yell as you enter back there. It's up the stairs. And she takes the gold pieces.
Yep, I am going to the room. Good luck.
I'm gonna drag Kios to the room.
Can I use my society to check and see if I can get an extra room?
I mean, to what ends? Are you asking if there's a spare room available, or if you can just choose a room if you like? Are they assigned? What's your
I
angle?
want 2 rooms for the price that we just paid.
Didn't she
Okay.
already agree to that though?
No, she agreed to 1.
She said you could either have 1 with 4 beds or 2 with 2. She wasn't
Oh.
picking on either.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I was thinking that we were all gonna snuggle up. All right, I'm fine with the 1 with 4. Never mind.
Okay. Cool.
What's
She'll get back to her drinks.
How much for a drink? Like her strongest?
Did you get into your "we live in a society" rant, or did you not?
I'm gonna say not.
Okay. She'll say the house brew is 10 copper for a mug.
Right, I'm asking what the strongest
Doesn't include the
is.
mug.
Like,
Wait, what?
wait, I get to keep the mug? Like a
No,
souvenir mug?
she's saying that you can pay 10 coppers for it, but you can't keep the mug. It apparently has been a problem in this pub.
Alright, I'll pay that. I'll buy a mug of whatever.
All right, 10 copper.
All right, I will also.
All right, whomever drinks it gains the dazzled 1 for 1 minute condition.
What's the thing where isn't it if you have talked to someone for over a minute, you can diplomacy check them to increase
Make an impression.
an impression?
Mhm.
Can we
Make an
do
impression.
that? Is it
Absolutely.
party wise or per character?
It can be both. If it's whether you want it to affect the party or just you.
Well, I guess I'll just do the just me button because I don't want to be responsible for her hating all of this.
Enjoy that you're in the background dodging out a window in the kitchen.
Oh, is that the kitchen?
Yeah,
Oh, that explains it.
there's nobody currently in there. It's just like an open floor layout back there. So making an impression is a diplomacy check. Let's see, DC.
It's probably more than
Circumstance. Okay. Her opinion of you increases by 1 stage.
Amazing.
So she
Nice.
is friendly towards you, but just you.
How nice.
She's indifferent to everybody else.
Can I do
I'll
that?
buy-
check?
She'll tell
Feeling
you
of
that
ritual.
she'll let you know without indicating anyone else around you, including Marv, that if you're in the lounge, that's this area that you're currently in, tomorrow morning, there's a free breakfast afforded to people that reserve a room with 4 beds.
Nice. Well, since we decided to do the room with 4 beds, we'll do that. And I'll order a mug of ale as well.
Okay.
One
That'll be
silver, right?
noted. Yep. She'll give you an interested look if you pay it in silver rather than copper.
I don't have any copper.
Bitch, why?
That's fair.
I only have gold and silver. I didn't get
No,
any
I mean,
copper.
why is she being so fucking stingy? It's the same
That's
amount,
too
dude.
poor for your blood.
I
Oh,
think
that wasn't
silver-
stinginess. She's just not.
Silver is more expensive.
No, yeah,
like,
it's more
yeah.
like paying for something with a 50 than with like
It's like
tens.
Yeah.
walking into a freaking like fast food restaurant. You have change for $1 million or some crap.
It's not like you're paying with the platinum expecting change.
Yeah, I know. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, she's interested that you're carrying silver.
Didn't Marv throw her 2 gold pieces a second
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah, I threw her 2 gold pieces, asked where the room was, got tired of waiting, walked in there shaking my head, and then just went to look for the room myself.
Can he make a diplomacy check to make an impression for the whole party based off of that? The fact that we're
I
just carrying
suppose.
around gold pieces? I mean, I don't know.
Are you like, look at my gold?
I mean, he just
I'm
threw her 2
not.
gold pieces like it's
Well,
nothing. I mean,
well, it was more I think the way the situation played out more that I was standing there waiting like they just about to sit there go on a rant, and I just got tired of waiting, just absentmindedly just kind of freaking slumped the 2 gold on the counter and kind of waved at it, and then walked in the other room. So I wasn't
surely that would,
exactly trying to.
yeah, but surely that would make an impression just as much as the silver piece instead of the copper would.
Kinda. Yeah. She was annoyed at you at the time though.
Hence the name Frustrated Barkeep 1.
It'd be that way.
Yep. The system automatically rolls adjectives for my NPCs when I drag them out. It decided to give her interior, and so I rerolled that.
I mean, she's in the building.
Yes, but
She's
it's
in
not
like
very
a
descriptive.
small, tiny building inside the building.
She pops out of a cuckoo clock. So yeah, you guys head upstairs.
No.
Yeah.
Sure.
It turns out she was being truthful. It is a 4-bed 1-room apartment. Room technically. But it's not presented in the shape you expected. It looks more like a actual apartment that you might live in rather than sleep in. Let me show you. So this is your room. There's one more bed. Well, technically, these are bunk beds up here. So there's one above the other one with a short ladder on each.
Could I happen to acquire dark vision?
Yeah, why? This is so
Oh,
dark.
because there's no
Light a
torches.
torch.
Yeah.
Good
The
thing I
fireplace
brought
is going.
15.
I'll
And
say
so
if
is
there's
this
any
lantern.
lanterns or
token-
sconces.
Somebody lighting a torch?
Yeah, sure, I'll light a torch.
Okay, if I have dark vision, could I not see in here?
Oh, if you
Okay.
have dark vision, you can see everything, yeah.
Is there a way to make it so that I can see me as the player? Because it's kind of a little dark for me.
Hang on, I'm getting this set up for you guys.
Thank
Oops,
you.
wrong way. Here we go. Oop. There's one torch. All right, who has dark vision?
I do. I have dark vision and low light vision. I don't know if it matters if I have both or not.
1 second. I will fix that for you real quick.
I can only see in black and white and pitch black though.
If there's some kind of lantern or a sconce on the wall or something to put a torch in, I would light one if nobody else was doing it.
I currently have a torch lit.
All right.
There's little ones. Oh, hang on. I know what's going on. I know what's going on. So that is not what's going on. It's this. I bet everyone can see a little bit better now.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely, yeah. Can kind of see through walls, but
Yeah, it's not a perfect tool, the one I'm using to make these structures, but it does make them really fast.
Is
Including the
there
doors.
nice.
is there a door in between us and downstairs, or is it just stairs leading to where we are currently?
It is. There is like a landing area. Okay, so that is in feet. Okay, good. So I had it right. There's a landing area down there, and there's a bunch of like single door doubles, basically going down about um, 4 doors on the left and 3 doors on the right, and then there's another staircase that goes up to here, which is this floor. So you guys have the whole floor.
Okay. So there isn't like a door between us and where we came from earlier.
Right. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. There's like a little rope thing that you can draw across the stairs, but it's not locked. This bedroom door, however, does close and lock if you need to. It seems to be set up so that you guys like put all of your possessions in there and then close and lock it up, and then sleep out here. It's definitely an unconventional layout. It feels much more like a house, especially with the storeroom, which is filled with a ton of logs. Somebody was stocking up for winter.
I think that's a window you just jumped out
yeah,
of, Vincent.
I think I
Yep.
fell off of the second floor there.
Vincent is tired of this bullshit, and he leaves via window.
Okay, so I see that. I guess Grenholt has a torch equipped. Is
Mhm.
the dark vision for my character set up correctly?
It should be set so that you can see basically everything everywhere, as long as
Okay.
it's lit. I could set emit on you,
Well,
but then
else
everyone will
see
see
it,
everything. Yes. Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay, it's a. Yeah,
I'm hoping that there'll be a module for that later.
it's kind of. Let me just take a screenshot of this. It's kind of like
Okay. Since
I
it's
can
lit
see.
up, I'll transition to daylight conditions rather than dim conditions.
Marginally
Yeah, that is a
better.
little weird. Guess I'm gonna have to play with light settings a little bit more.
Yeah, it's always weird to set up lighting any kind of Roll20 online thing.
Should have it done soon. But yeah, this has a writing desk included. There's a small lantern that has oil in it. This chest has a simple lock that you can put on it, and the key is on top of the chest. So you can take that with you if you would prefer. And this is a wardrobe where you can store your clothing stuffs. And of course, you could store everything in this store area over here if you felt like so. It is, with some investigation of your room, 3:34 now, and you have until 7 a.m. Well, assuming travel time is about the same, you have about until 5:30 tomorrow morning, which is math, about 10 hours from now. What do you guys want to do for the next 10 hours?
Well, I assume we want to sleep for about 8 of them.
Yeah, I'd imagine probably just rest for now.
Wake up and rest.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there a dinner prepared at the end, or I guess we could buy food at the bar if we needed some?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Is there any way that I can use my forest lore to make myself some money?
Yes, but it would take a little bit longer than you have.
Oh.
Most earned incomes are, I think, 1 day minimum. I think. Let me double check that. Downtime
I
and
guess
earned income.
in that case, I will leave it be and just go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say it takes a while, unfortunately. How it would work with earn income is I will search for a task for you to do. Your roll will go for it or against it, and then your roll will be consulted against the table versus the level of expertise required for the task versus the level versus your result. Basically, the more complex and difficult the task, um, and the better you roll, the more money you make.
But it would still take too much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's more like searching for a job than just like basically going out panhandling. Though you can do that too. That one's more of a. I think that one basically counts as a craft check.
You can do a performance check to stage a performance, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, get out there and beat on some bongos or something.
Whisker.
Hmm.
I mean, you could still write. You could still roll it, and I could see if it's good enough to actually make some on-the-spot money.
Would it cost me all 10 hours? Because I guess I don't really need a long rest. Alright, what am I rolling then? Just my lore?
A relevant skill that you believe might make money, and I'll assign a DC based on the likelihood that might generate money versus your description of what you're doing.
I don't know how I would make money with occultism or arcana. I guess.
You could consult, for instance.
Occultism, you could like read palms or tell fortunes.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could
I
get
think
a.
I'll do that. I'll be
Yeah.
that creepy ass man on the corner, going,
Oh,
I'll read your palm for a silver or some shit like that,
Okay.
or read your palm for some coppers.
I mean, I don't know
So
what religion you're affiliated, but you could preach and
Yeah,
charge
true.
admittance.
I'm not
But
really affiliated with any religion.
alright.
Can you use an untrained
Yikes.
skill to try to earn income?
No, actually,
Okay.
it has to be trained.
It's a bit oof.
Yeah. Poor peasants that have no trained skills just can't make money except through slave labor.
Yeah.
So I suppose since you're doing the typical palm reader, etc. stuff, would you like to reveal the card?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It is time.
Yeah,
It has
it's
been
time.
it's been 43 minutes. It's been like 47 minutes actually, but it's okay.
I
wow.
decided to hold back just in case you guys wanted to.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's read this.
Pause for
Let's see
dramatic effect.
All right. The drawn card is now in your quest log.
Alright.
Which one is our quest?
Inverted
Ooh,
justice.
Inverted justice.
What a JoJo's stand name.
I mean, justice was a stand, but
Inverted justice.
Where the fuck is
inverted.
the quest log?
go-
Open book, bottom of the page.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Weird.
nifty.
So for the person that you're reading, you actually let me roll random NPC trait. Okay. You feel like this guy has is escaping the karmic actions that he's due. That he's trying to avoid the consequences of some of his actions, and that in fact seeking you out is part of that.
And this is while I'm like reading a poem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You get basically the feeling of the inverted justice card.
I
Yeah.
think
Uh,
I'll try and be sneaky about it, but I'll sort of imply that, his palm is saying this, right?
okay.
His palm is saying that he's trying to escape something. That
You can see a long lifeline drawn from his stem, which reaches out into a career of poor decisions, which you're currently trying to avoid the mistakes of, and so on.
right.
Okay. This will take about an hour to find this guy. Give me a perception. You're pretty sure he believes you. He retrieves his palm. I'll give you one of his traits. Do you want to know his flaw, his current mundane struggle, or his connection to the larger world?
Current mundane struggle flaw. I am gonna say connection.
He is a former adventurer. Specifically retired. Which is curious because he's in his late 20s.
Is this fucking Erebus? My immortal past life?
I mean, we both had terrible immortal adventurers who are probably retired by now.
I guess in character I can't just go like, try and imply that I know he's actually Zahulu.
You could ask
I
his
mean,
name.
you can say whatever you like.
No, but it's not. My character wouldn't know that. Shit. I might say something like, because you're running from the law, I'm gonna go out on a limb, that you're not the biggest fan of Felinor.
This is his portrait.
That's not fucking Erebus. I don't know who the fuck that is.
No, of course not. I hardly know anyone that worships that asshat these days. Except for the... Well, he takes a quick look around himself. Except for the extremely fervent.
Let's see here. Am I still reading his palm, or he ripped that away, didn't he?
He pulled it away, yeah. He didn't quite rip it, but it was a pull. You could have held on if you wanted to. Do you want to keep holding on to it?
Let me think. How if I did. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it. See,
Okay.
I'm gonna say something like his lifeline is irregular, meaning lots of strife.
Okay. Give me either an occultism or a deception.
All right, so +7 or +1? It's a good thing I did the +7.
You point out a couple of interesting lines that are adjacent to that one. Learn another one of those connections I told you about, either his flaw or his current struggle.
Current struggle.
The current problem that is getting in the way of him solving his flaw is that he is paranoid.
I'm going to say these lines adjacent to your lifeline show that you worry about others finding you, or being suspicious of others. But it intersects briefly with your lifeline, meaning that it is impeding you and is keeping you from progressing with your life. What's his
You get the feeling that he is uncertain about your predictions, but he's not dismissing them. At least not yet.
I suppose, could I do another occultism to see if I can find his flaw?
Sure, he's at least stopped resisting for the moment. Sure. So his flaw, and flaws are, to put into context, like the deep, dark part of a person's problems in their life, is that he's extremely stubborn. Would you like to try and pull that all together with an investigate and try to hazard a guess as to what might be his current issues?
I suppose so. What's investigate?
Oh, investigation.
There is an investigation.
We got.
Oh, right. Yeah. So give me a
Is there not an
society.
investigation?
Oh, God damn it.
You're not quite sure. There's a number of you got it down to like 2. So it could be either one of these 2 you think are a strong lead, right? One is that he's being chased by something, and he's trying to find a way out. He's gotten desperate to the point now that he's seeking soothsayers on the street. The other one is that he's trying to find someone, and he's looking for any sort of information that might lead to them.
I guess I have a 50-50 shot, and I think the finding somebody is more likely, so I'm just gonna go. So who you looking for?
He'll pull his hand. Better soothsayer, I suppose.
Yeah.
But fine. He'll toss a couple of coins at you. Add 2 silver and 30 copper to your wallet. But you had me going for a bit there. I suppose that's worth something. He'll start walking off, shaking his head.
Following him.
Okay. We'll get back to you in a bit. So the rest of you guys, you're bunking down for the night, right?
Yep.
Do you want to set up a watch, or are you just going to sleep as if it's safe conditions?
I'd figure set up a watch just because there isn't a door there.
Does the barmaid sleep here, or does she have her own home? Like, are we alone here? Are there other patrons? Or is there a staff?
You have the floor as far as like nobody's come up here.
Okay.
Nobody, no staff, no guests, no nobody has come up here.
Yep.
Alright.
Because I think we're
So it's-
essentially in the attic right now.
So did we go to an inn, or is this just like a tavern that happens to also have like a spare room that they sometimes rent out?
They do have rooms on the second floor. This is the third that you guys are on, but they're the more conventional sort down there.
Okay.
They're all doublets, basically.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we can set up a watch. Why not?
Yeah.
No point
Okay.
not to.
There's going to be two components to your watch. Who's got first? Who's got second?
I'll take first.
Okay, Reno first, and who is on second?
Are we doing 4 watches for 4 of us? Or are we doing 2 and 2, or how are we doing it?
Well, currently there's 3 of you. We'll see what happens with the fourth. But 4 hours should do it.
I was about to say, because we're resting for like 10 hours, right?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
9 around, so that still gives us plenty of sleep.
Yeah, so we can do we can plan for either 3 watches of 3 hours each if Chaos is not back by the time we decide to go to bed.
That
Like-
works, yeah.
Yeah, Reynald on 1, Marv's on the second, and then Vincent on the third.
So who's on second watch again? Sorry. First is Reno.
And then Marv's, and then Vincent.
Okay.
And if Chaos comes back before the first watch ends, then we can just split it into 4 watches.
Okay. All right. You guys will head to bed. Kios. This guy leads you on a bit of a chase. He doesn't seem adverse to walking into danger. The first group of ne'er-do-wells that he comes across ask him to hand over all of his valuables or his life. You're not quite sure what happens in the next couple of seconds, except that the men around him crumble. They're not like literally crumbled; they just fall to the ground unconscious. You didn't really see him do or say anything, and so that has you a bit confused.
He
He doesn't seem to have
unsheaths-
noticed you.
half unsheaths and then resheaths his sword, and they crumple around him.
When he goes to bed tonight, he will clink his sword. He goes down a couple of alleyways and he meets up with a strange person. I'll get you their portrait real quick. They appear from an adjacent alleyway that's just strewn with refuse and rubble. It looks like somebody hit that building with a catapult, because there's just a whole corner of it that's been broken out and is splayed out across the alleyway. They have a somewhat unsettling appearance, which is why I call them out.
Haven't we
That's
seen them before?
Give me an intelligence.
Oh, shit. Yikes.
You feel like you have, but you can't quite place them.
Damn it. Okay.
Do you want to get closer, or are you going to stay in cover where it's safest?
Am I within earshot?
Sort of, but they're speaking quietly. It's difficult to make out.
I'll try to get a little bit closer then.
All right. Risking some danger. Give me a flat check, DC 5.
Just to
That's
roll
just a.
d20.
Yeah, just D20. Nice. You duck behind a covered crate and then across to a barrel where you get yourself low. From the ground, you're able to hear some parts of their conversation. The man in armor speaks first. I did as you asked. I spoke with the first one I saw. But they didn't tell me anything of use. What am I paying you for exactly? You must trust the fates. Do as I say, and you shall be rewarded with what you desire. This is what you sought me out for, is it not? You're having me run around in a city that's half gone mad, asking favors of random people on the street. How exactly is this getting me closer? The pathways that connect us are obscure and often lined by time, circumstance, and opportunity. I am merely guiding you to the point where you may seize all three and see the path that lays before you. Your eyes are clouded. You cannot see the fate as I can. But you will. Continue to follow my instructions, and you will. I'm just tired of it. We've been at this for 2 months. 2 months, and I've yet to see any discernible results. Have patience. Patience in all things. It will reward you eventually. Fine. And where am I off to now? There is a guard on the second floor of the Golrama apartments in the northern part of the sleep. Give him this. And you can see he hands over something that's red and small, about the size of a bead, and tell him his wife is waiting for him. When you awaken, speak to the man on your right. Ask him how his dog's doing. If your instructions become no more clear and no less dangerous. Yes, but this is the path. Fine. He'll start walking off. The weird-looking man will look at the barrel and tilt his head for a moment. And then turn and walk back into the alleyway, vanishing into shadow.
So that's fun.
Do you have religion? You stared at the guy for a little bit.
+5.
Nice. That man is somewhat obscure in profession. There's not many of him, or rather, what he does throughout Seer, let alone the Untamed World. Most just don't have the craziness to do it right. But he is a bona fide seer of the Fate Weaver. Best told by the fact that he has blinded himself.
Cool. That's fun. I guess I'll keep following the guy I was following before.
Okay.
Actually, what was the name of the place that we were staying at? It's not the same as what his new destination is,
no,
right?
you're staying at the Silver and Cross,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the location that was mentioned was the Golrama Apartments. Also was mentioned the Sleep, which isn't a name that's really familiar to you, but it's not at least the district that you know of in, which is the Hills. You follow this guy for an hour as he continues traipsing across the city. It's about 5:30 now. If you head back, you should still be able to get a full night's sleep. But you can continue to pursue this man if you like.
Is there a detriment for me not getting sleep?
You may become fatigued more easily, and certain things may occur to you, like being surprised a little bit more easily.
Oh, so statuses.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. I'll keep going.
Okay. Takes about another hour for him to get where he's going. There's this large black stone building with blue slate tile roof. It goes up several stories, like the House Wizithel apartment did. And it's guarded at the front by two men wielding long spears in half-plate armor. Most of the people that are around are avoiding the building. There's almost like an area of protection around it that nobody dares breach. Except for this guy, who strides right up to the guards and fishes out a kind of ratty-looking scroll and shoves it into one of their hands. The guard will open it up, look at it, nod to the other one, and then wave him in. Are you going to pursue him inside, or are you going to wait out here until he comes back out?
I'm gonna register the location and I think head back.
Okay. It'll take you 2 hours to do so. It's about 8:50 when you get back to the Silver and Cross. I won't require a check since you're mostly just retracing your steps. And in fact, you make it back upstairs, and it seems like they're setting up watches because there's no real door leading to this floor, just a thing that you draw across it for privacy. Would you like to take over any one of the watches as they haven't started, or are you just gonna sleep tonight?
Can add a fourth watch. We don't mind.
If I don't have to do a watch, I'm not gonna do a fucking watch.
I mean, we don't mind making it 4 watches instead of 3 watches. I mean,
Peer
I'm sure
pressure.
you don't.
yeah.
I mean, I can take one.
Okay. Currently set up as empty is the last one. Do you want to take that one, or try and switch with somebody else?
No, I might as well take the empty one.
All right. Okay. First watch.
Yes.
It is 9:50. Your watch goes for about 2.5 hours. And the city is quieting down a little bit again. There's still smoke and fire on the horizon in every direction, and the town guard is making a show of marching through the streets in armor, which you're sure can't be great for soldier morale or for guard morale right now. But otherwise, it's somewhat quiet. You heard some shuffling downstairs about an hour ago. You presume that that's from the opening and closing of doors. Some number of people have decided to stay the night here. You're not quite sure exactly how many. Best guess, around 10. It is pretty dark out tonight. The clouds are getting in the way of what light is being projected from the moons, which are only about half full right now. And the fires have been mostly going out as the town guard are able to get buckets of water to them. So there's an eerie silence now. Little but wind, the occasional cat yowl, and bucket being splashed, and feet clapping on the cobblestone outside to break the silence. Not even much snoring downstairs, which is somewhat disquieting to you. Give me a perception. This is not the quietest of buildings. It's not so loud as to really break much of the silence, but you keep getting caught off guard by the occasional or as the wood settles. Probably wasn't put together by an accomplished architect. In fact, you note now that you're kind of just sitting here waiting for things to happen while keeping your eyes and ears peeled, that this thing is on like a 3-degree incline. It's just very slightly off. Just enough to put your center of gravity a little bit out of the way. Do you have any senses other than sight and hearing?
I mean, I imagine I have a nose, but I just have basic senses.
Okay. What are you doing while you're on watch, by the way?
I'd probably be looking over that scroll that I bought from the auction.
Oh, yeah. It is kind of fancy. Still kind of wondering, did you find out what it was in the end?
I knew it was a scroll from the Church of Felinor, but that was all that I remember finding out about it.
Well, there is a desk here, and a seat and a candle, so you can sit down and stare at it for a little bit. You take it in shifts, 10 minutes on, and then 5 minutes doing a quiet listen and wait. And you get kind of into the routine, looking into this thing and trying to figure out more of it, and then stopping and looking behind you, looking back down into it, and maybe making a couple of notes on the adjoined sheet of paper, and then stopping, listening. Occasionally interrupted by, you heard something, and so you stop and wait. One time you catch yourself almost not having heard the apartment shift, and that sets you a little bit on edge, but nothing else seems to happen. The rest of your watch ends. It is now midnight, and it has begun to noisily rain outside, in the form of ice. Hail has begun to pelt down on the roofs of the buildings, and a cold wave of air is blowing in somewhat disquietly through the cracks and gaps in the windows and walls. You are certainly happy that there is a fireplace nearby that is heating up this floor, because it's got to be less than 30 degrees out there. There's already starting to be fog on the ground.
It's an odd change in temperature. Like, is it abnormal?
It was already kind of overcast, so you were expecting some inclement weather of some sort. And it was already a little cold yesterday, so it doesn't seem too abnormal, at least. Grenholt, you wake up Marv and take your spot in one of the beds. Do you leave the scroll out, or are you going to take it with you?
I'm gonna take it with me.
Okay. Give me a religion check. Let's see how much progress you made on that. Nice. You found a couple of interesting leads that we'll follow up on later. You'll get a quest about that in a bit. Sorry, just making a note. Marv, how would you like to fill your shift? Because it is continuously bored.
I'd like to start work on this door. In the meanwhile, I am watching for potential threats.
Okay. Give me a crafting check. Let's see how you start off.
Sure thing. As soon as I find it, there we go. Pretty garbage.
Well, the first part of building a door is figuring out, what the dimensions are and how you're going to shape your material so it's not wasted. But you hit an immediate wall. You seem to have forgotten the dimensions of the door.
Well, that's unfortunate.
You kind of look back at the door around you for reference, but it looks a little bit different sized than the one you remember, and you're not quite sure where to go from here. So you kind of sit there, making up a couple of door diagrams and sketch, trying to see which one feels right. But you're just more or less left there, kind of confused as to where to go from here, since you can't even remember how large and wide the door was. In fact, you can't even remember what side the hinges were on now that you think about it. That's not a good start.
Not at all, no.
Regardless, there's not much else to do, so you keep pondering about it. The hail intensifies. It's escalated from constant tapping with occasional to just bangs occasionally, and then a whole bunch of on the roof at all times. Honestly, it's a little unnerving, especially since subconsciously you know that you're not able to hear as well as you normally could. There's so much distractions around you, so you kind of sharpen up a bit. You're not making much progress on this door anyway, and the situation has you a little bit on edge. Give me a perception.
Thing. Are you kidding me? Alright.
It's just really hard to hear. You figure, okay, maybe it's just because you're sitting here at this desk by the window. So attackers are probably going to come from the floor below. That's why we're setting watch anyway. So you head out the door and you kind of lean up against the wall by the stairwell, so you can keep an ear close to it. Hopefully, so that you can offset any distance problems between the loudness of the outside hail and the quietness of steps coming up the stairway. You're somewhat relieved that nothing seems to happen during your shift. But now it is Vincent's turn. Vincent, Marv wakes you up. It's your time for night watch.
Let's get this bread.
What will you be doing during your shift?
Weapon maintenance.
Okay, sure. To what ends? Are you trying to improve anything, or are you just trying to keep things shipshape?
Just daily maintenance. I don't think I really have the knowledge or know how to improve any of them.
Fair enough.
Oiling them down, cleaning them, maybe some sharpening if I have any sharpening stones that won't cause too much noise.
Give me a craft. Cool.
Well.
You don't have to be trained to do basic maintenance on weapons, and it's not particularly difficult to do the typicals. Finding any rust and trying to scour it off, seeing if you can find any warped or broken edges and trying to smooth that out with a stone. The usual. Also, re-oiling your sheath. That's also important to keep the rust from building up on the thing in the first place. And then the buckle and the leather surrounding that, which is kind of getting a little old at this point, might need replacing. Give me a perception.
Oh boy.
It's when you're unbuckling your the belt that holds your sheath for your weapon, right? You're setting it on the bed, and you hear something shift in the storeroom.
The storeroom to our west?
Mhm.
And I guess I can't see anything right now, by the way. Is that supposed to be the case? It's been like this for a while. I just didn't see anything.
Yep.
Okay.
We're currently doing this theater of the mind.
Okay. I hear shifting like, does it sound bigger than a small mouse?
Well, you set your equipment down on the bed. It's not really being used because you guys have the 4 bunk beds. To inspect the sheath, and then you hear like wood kind of knocking over, almost shifting.
You said it was hailing earlier. It's not like sounds of a storm, right? It's something's definitely in that storeroom.
You want to say yeah. You don't feel great about just leaving it, as is, unchecked. But you also kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm on edge. It's, yes, really loud out, so I might have just heard something.
Would I have donned my chainmail for my watch, or would I have left it off? Or would this be something that was up to me?
That's up to you. Yeah. Chainmail is light enough that you can sleep in it, I think.
I think only like adventurer clothing, well, the only ones labeled as like comfortable is adventurer clothing.
I was about to say, yeah, there's a specific trait for able to sleep in it.
Good point. Yeah.
It's explorer's clothing and padded armor. Chainmail is listed as flexible, but I don't think it's like. I don't think you sleep in this one.
I think you could realistically sleep in chainmail armor, but your back would freaking kill you for it in the morning.
Either way, I wouldn't sleep in chainmail. I was just trying to think, would I have put it on to start my watch? I think since I'm doing maintenance, I would have left it off to also do maintenance on the chainmail. How long does it take to don armor?
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
About 5 minutes.
Is everyone in the room to the south of me, and I'm in the main foyer area?
So, if you remember when you guys came up the stairs initially, right? There was those 2 beds. Those are bunk beds, and so everybody's just in those bunks.
Okay. And I'm just, I guess, sitting in the main foyer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will quietly wake up Marv's, at least, to the best of my ability. And once he wakes up, I'll like put a finger to my mouth, like be quiet, like just Marv's, just waking him up.
Okay. Marv's, you get woken up.
I make some hand motions, like I point to the storeroom and point to my ear and make a confused gesture, and then beckon him to come along with me.
Kick the door down. No. I'll very quietly follow.
Okay, and I guess I'll
My,
take. I won't put on the chainmail, but I'll definitely take a battle axe and a shield with me.
Okay. Give me a stealth.
both of us, or
Him, since he's grabbing some weapons.
alright.
Well, it's
How?
not.
You stop and cringe for a moment as
I
your weapon slips a little bit.
I was
Um,
doing this on the weapons before, so I don't think it's that much different than the noises I would have already been making.
No, but you're definitely in a heightened state of
Yeah.
awareness right now.
It makes me nervous just to hear myself making more noise.
How do you select your character sheet if your token isn't on the map, by the way?
Let's see. I think you can right click on yourself to player configuration, then double click on your character.
Doesn't do it.
Well, I just keep mine open and minimize it whenever I don't have it open, so I'm not sure.
I do too, but I accidentally closed it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Oh, no, I found it. Okay. Set a folder that was closed that I needed to open.
That's useful.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just setting something up. Okay. So, you hear it again. Shifting going on in the storeroom.
I guess Marvis with his fists ready and me with my battle axe and my shield will open the door to the storeroom and check out what's inside.
Do you do so quietly or loudly?
What
That
kind of?
big chat message just pop up for you guys all as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh.
you need to set the macro as a script, not a chat.
Yep,
Yeah,
sorry
but,
about that.
Oh well, it wasn't you. So yeah, forgot to do that for all of mine. So yeah.
Yeah, but what kind of shifting is it? Like,
Give me
is it
perception.
alright? Significantly better.
Well, you heard some wood tones, we'll call them. But now that you're listening, you're also hearing like a vibration. Very, very slight and stuttery.
The washing machine's on the fritz again. Nah.
It's somewhat muffled by the door too, so you're only really catching the lower end of the pitch,
Alright.
the bass.
I would like to, do I happen to know the condition of this door? And I hate to be this tedious, but does the thing squeak? Because I'm trying to open this thing as quietly as physically possible.
So you guys opened up the storeroom earlier while you were kind of checking the floor out, and it was fairly well oiled. I mean, it's gonna make some movement noises, but it's not like when you go to try to open it.
Huh.
So fast or slow open?
Fast but not rushed. In other words, like not slamming the door open, but I'm trying to slip into the room before I'm noticed by something that might notice me.
I think we can just. Well, I have dark vision, so if I just pop open the door, do you have any kind of lowered light vision?
No, I don't. That's just
Maybe.
say.
Is there any light in the room that we're currently in, or is it just?
Yeah, there's
was-
some light spilling out from the furnace. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the fireplace to the south.
Were the windows in such a place where moonlight would come in the storeroom?
If the moon was in a different position, yes.
Okay.
If
So
yeah, I'll open it slowly in that case. If there's
well, I can see inside as
oh
you
well,
are literally blind as
yeah,
this, so maybe you grab
yeah.
a torch and I'll open the door and then
Well, I didn't want any light because I don't want stuff to see me. But you
what?
you you probably open the door first anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I mean if you're okay fighting blind, then that's fine. But then yeah, I will open the door then. And I think stealth has failed at this point, so we just like door goes open. Who goes
Okay.
there?
You creak the door open, and the room is still, but the hair on the back of your neck is standing. Um, Something not right about all this.
The
You
storeroom is
notice that some of the wood piles have moved. One of the bowls that was holding a cup of berries in it is flipped over. You give the ceiling a look, but there's nothing up there either. But you can't shake this feeling of dread apprehension.
I will grab a torch and search the room as well.
I think it takes. How long does it take to light a torch? Is it one action
It's like
or
an
is it?
action, yeah. So like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
4 seconds if you pull it out of your pack and light it.
Okay. So yeah, then I guess we can search the room. Why not?
Mm.
Who goes there?
And I would
Um,
like to as soon as I enter the door, I would like to shut it and block it off. Not like jam it shut, just enough to where if something
Yeah.
moves that I can tell.
They can't just slip behind us while our backs turned.
Okay. Marv, you get the door handle and pull the door closed and give me a will save.
I don't like that, but alright. That's annoying.
Unfortunate.
I will give you an option to make immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Slam the door shut or open it entirely so it hits the wall.
I'd like to slam the door shut.
Alright,
Like
slam
slam that bush. Yeah. I'm assuming that I'm now just freaking out because it's dark in here, and I'm going to slam the door shut.
So firstly, yeah, I'm moving you over.
Okay.
So first thing to note, there is a horrible, giant brown thing of an oval shape on the other end of the door. It's just hanging there. And when you slam it shut, it drops to the floor, its legs flailing, before it flips over to the side and skitters under the desk. And then at that time, there is a flood of cockroaches that come out from either end.
That's I don't think that's up to code, honestly. I think that's kind of a health hazard. Alright. Hmm. Are we talking like walls literally covered in cockroaches flood, or
2 5-foot squares worth of cockroaches.
wow? Alright. Uh. Hmm. Alright. Well, I would like to, I mean, gross, but are they trying to attack?
Oh, yes.
Alright.
So, I will give you one more reaction, Marv. Are you going to immediately go for the door to wake everyone else up?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna open the door just yet, but I'm going to slam on it as hard as I can. Well, okay, maybe not hard as I can, but slam on it loud enough to wake everyone up and yell and whatnot.
Okay. Reynal and Kios, give me a perception. Kios, you're suddenly awoken by a door slamming next to you. We'll get to the combat in a second.
I kick Renault awake.
Okay, Reynal, you're awake now.
What's happening?
I'm guessing that I slept off the one beer that I had, so I'm going to take that off.
Yep.
And then, which door was it? This one?
Yep.
Yes, it was. It was that one. Didn't mean to open that.
Okay.
If he's awake, then I will walk over and try and open the door.
Okay, we'll get to you in just a minute then. So, in one round, add you to the initiative. In the meanwhile, it's cockroach time.
Amiable cockroach swarm. Something tells me it's not an amiable cockroach swarm.
So give me a reflex save, Marv.
Alright. There we go.
Nice. You dance out of the way of the swarm, keeping your feet and legs well away from the biting, hissing cockroaches. They will make 2 more attempts.
Do I need 2 more rolls for that?
Yes.
Alright. Alright.
They do eventually catch up to you, dealing 2 piercing damage.
Alright.
That is that roach's turn. Marv.
I had to fix my HP. I forgot I set it to level 2 in it. Alright, anyway. I can't see that well, and I didn't mean to. Okay, I can't see. I have a torch out, supposedly, unless I dropped it or otherwise got rid of it in a panic. But I can't really see.
No, you still got it. So hang on a second.
Alright, that's a lot better. I would like to attempt to attack those boys several times.
That is a fair reaction.
Yep,
Poor amiable cockroach swarm.
Yep, I would like to aggressively step on the cockroaches. Just flurry once, and then I didn't mean to wait. Ignore that second one. That was the wrong. Well, actually, I'm attacking 4 times, but the second one needs to be at the -4.
Okay.
So that's 14. Then the other 2 should be right.
So 22, 14, 13, 10. That is 1 hit.
Wow. All right.
Roll some damage.
Yep. Okay.
You start bashing down there, and trying to beat the crap out of this thing. You are not appreciative of the fact that a few of them got on you and started biting you.
I think since you're a monk, you need to remove the non-lethal tag from your fists.
I do, but it just automatically puts it on there.
Yeah.
I think it's an option
Yeah,
rather than a requirement.
Yeah.
Okay. They have taken damage.
That's all I get.
A couple of them are now squashed beneath your feet. Vincent.
Well, I will go ahead and rage, because I don't see any reason why not to as a barbarian.
Yep.
It's time for some ew rage.
Literally no point not to rage. Appears that the macro for raging is not working for me unless I'm dumb. Am I dumb? Hold on. There's an error in your macro syntax, so.
Oh, yep. Hang on 1 second.
I just grabbed it from the OneDrive, so I don't know.
Okay, hang on. Now it is native. Yeah, it's not going for some reason. So you would get 4 temporary HP. And
I would lose 1 AC, and
Yes.
I get a +3 damage bonus, etc. Okay, so
instance.
I get 4 temp HP, yep, then...
Okay, I
Wait,
adjusted
no.
your AC.
Okay, cool. And then I will go ahead and... That takes an action, right? To rage? Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Go ahead and attack this.
Okay.
The swarm with my battle axe.
Nice.
And then damage roll. Think that's all correct. And then is the swarm still scurrying about?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and go for attack
There's
2
so
with
many
Boogaloo
cockroaches.
and be that way. Critical miss.
Woohoo! They have no effect on that sort of thing.
Okay. And I guess that's all for my turn.
Oh, either next adventure or optionally next session, I'm willing to implement a possible new rule that will reintroduce more critical hits and critical failures, but it will be a opt-in. So you could choose to critically hit or gain a hero point, or you could choose to take a critical failure and gain a hero point.
That swarm should also take 3 extra damage from the rage, and it should all be, I guess, necrotic type.
Oh, necrotic damage. Okay.
I guess, because I mean, positive damage wouldn't do anything good for us here, and so
Probably
and
not.
3 extra, because I don't know if there's any way for me to add extra rage damage somehow.
Oh, so it was all necrotic?
I believe so. 12 necrotic damage. I think that's how. Let me link this. It's under Spirit Rage Instinct ability.
Your X. Yeah, your battle axe comes down, and using the broadside of it, you squash a significant amount of the swarm. Their corpses smoke and burn from the necrotic energy, becoming a horrible popcorn.
That's not the image I wanted in my head.
All right, I am adding Kios and Grenholt to the combat tracker. All right, cool. Roach is first. They do a 5-foot skitter and 2 swarming bites. Can you give me 2 DC 18 reflex saves?
Is reflex
Cool.
the worst for
Oh.
well, it's alright.
You definitely dodge delightfully out of the way of the first one. Not so much on the second one. Seems like they're pretty good on their follow-ups. That will be 8 piercing damage. as they
Whoa.
slither up your pants legs and start biting at your heels and ankles.
Them ankle biters.
That is one swarm's turn. Sorry, that was the pumped cockroach swarm's turn.
Does a shield do anything for me here?
A shield?
Yeah.
Yes. If your shield is raised, you subtract the amount of hardness from the amount of damage they would deal to you, and instead of the remainder, you and the shield take the remaining damage.
Okay, so
That's
if
if
I-
you use the shield block. Shield
Oh,
raise
that's right,
just
if you have shield block.
increases
Yep.
your AC by 2.
Yes.
Okay. Is shield
Uh,
block an action, or how's that work?
Having
That's a beat.
your shield raise is an action, and having a shield gives you that. Shield block comes from a feat, and then that's a reaction that you use when you're hit with an attack. So it's those two things.
Yeah. Marv, 3 reflex saves, if you would. They are all over you. That is 2 misses.
Do you have to raise your shield
2
every
hits.
turn?
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. I see, I see. If you
Uh,
don't raise your shield, is it just dead weight then?
You're
Alright.
basically just not using it as equipped, but you aren't like blocking attacks with it.
Okay.
7 piercing, Marv. They are now halfway up your body and are continuing to climb their way up. Thankfully, there's much less of them. And it is now your turn.
Yep.
The good news is they're literally in your square and on you.
Yep.
So it's hard to miss.
I'd like to see how this thing works, but Tiger Stance, okay, it does not attack. That's kind of annoying, but I'll do it manually. Would like to try and smack these boys several times.
Hit. Miss.
Wow. Okay.
If shield block is a general skill, we don't have access to it yet, right?
Yes, it's a general feat. I think I only have access to it because a class feature gave it to me.
Okay.
No, I don't. I need to just add an attack for each of those into my thing, but how do critical hits work in this again? Is it 10 over their AC?
Yes.
Okay.
And it'll be counted as critical. Still no criticals on them yet.
Dang. Alright.
I guess their AC is...
At least 17.
At least 17.
I'd like to aggressively brush them off of me.
That's fair, you know?
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah.
are still popping.
Their AC is 18, it looks like.
Okay. Reynaud.
I guess I'd grab my shield and spear wherever those are, probably next to the bed.
I'll count that as an action.
Then I'll move over to the door, and I guess it would be a separate action to then open the door, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll move
we'll
over
clear
to the
the way
door
for
and
chaos,
open
though.
it.
Did I not open the door?
Not yet.
Oh.
Despite you waking up first, Reynaud is bolting out of bed.
You use
he
2
opens the door for you.
actions.
Marv's is currently brushing off cockroaches that are bursting with necromantic energy. That's the first thing that you see. Oh, and this is supposed to be their token, but Pathfinder decided to. Foundry decided to just be like, nah. So there you go. That's what they're supposed to look like.
What are they supposed to look like? I
Where's
can't
it?
actually see
No,
inside
this
here.
is
Even
where
if
it
I
is, yeah.
go inside, I can't see inside.
Oh, it's in the campfire.
Oh,
Yes, I see the... Yeah. You can't see inside the room?
no.
Hmm.
Like I can see There's like a
How
little
about now?
moonbeam. Oh yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, vision still isn't set up properly. Sorry. I have to change the honor your prototype token, but I'll get that done between now and next game. So you have 3 actions.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Oh, it's my turn. Awesome.
Whosoever has the glowing circle has the turn.
Oh, cool. All right. Let's see here. Uh. Yeah. Okay. I guess I will use this. Oh, meant to target on him. I guess I'll pick up, I don't know, like a potato, one of the pieces of wood, maybe, and fling it at
Yeah.
the cockroaches.
Unattended objects are pretty easy to pick up. Okay. Fling it. I'll count that as bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I think the spell is just damage of whatever makes sense for the item.
And then I will spend my, I don't know where my dinosaur is, but I'll spend my last action to give it two actions.
2 actions.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you like it to do?
I don't know where it is.
It's by the stairs.
Oh,
I'll consider it as having traveled with you.
okay.
That makes sense.
I guess I can then move 1. Is that? I'm having the problem where I can't actually see again. Alright, there we go. 5. So that's 5 squares. That's 25. So that's just 1 movement. And then I will strike. Or use my jaws, but I can't. So, Fate, if you could strike for me with my jaws.
Aye. Oh, right, but it uses your level as the proficiency.
Right.
So d20 plus 0 plus 2. Woo!
And on top
Coffee
of
is
that,
hungry.
it gets the venom as well. So it has to do a DC 14, unless they're immune to poison.
They are not immune to poison.
DC 14 Fortitude. No, DC 16 Fortitude.
Fail. Alright, so
It gets 1d6
stage
poison
1 d6 poison.
and enfeebled for one round. Status penalty equal to the condition value, which is 1 to strength-based rolls.
Yep, I got it. Alright, and then the actual damage on top of that. Ah!
I mean, my
Apparently,
dinosaur is
it's just
basically the
food.
same size of these things, right? It's just going on a feeding frenzy.
Alright, so that is 10 damage. Ow. It voraciously bites into the swarm, just snapping them up and eating them wantonly. About 8/10 of the swarm is devoured at this point. He is your familiar is full of cockroaches. Take that as you like. Vincent.
What a good boy. I'm gonna be smacking this guy in front of me. And
Not
missing
with
every
those.
single one of them. Is it
I am
even worth
sad to
getting the
report.
-10? Let's see here. Never.
Woo!
Well, that was the third hit, so it's it's pretty bad. So I think after the first hit, you're pretty much out of luck anyway.
All right. The pumped cockroach swarm doesn't appreciate being nommed on by a familiar. It will 5-foot skitter over to the familiar and swarm bite. Character sheet. Familiar. There we go. Two fort saves. Only one hit. Ooh! They bite back. They swarm over and on top of the familiar, and it doesn't look great. There's a whole bunch of scratches, and you can start seeing some bleeding oozing out now. That is Swarm's turn. Marv.
Hey, do corpses count as, can I move through corpses, basically? It's a swarm, right? So it doesn't really...
They offer no resistance.
Alright. Like to, walk up there and attempt to, slash the boys.
Give me a slash.
And let's see if, this actually works. No, okay, well, it kind of worked. I'll, just do that.
Hit. Just hit. A miss and a miss.
Alright. So that's... Really now. Alright.
Your martial arts are apparently not suited against cockroaches.
Apparently not.
But nonetheless, it is enough to bring the thing down. Swiping and slashing with your fists, you manage to pick off the things that are trying to pick off the poor dinosaur. And this combat is over!
Nice.
I like that
You
I
got
woke
the
up and drew my
XP.
weapons and then opened the door to see nothing.
I'd like
And now it's just ended.
I'd like to. What's better, administer first aid or is it treat wounds is better?
First aid is the untrained, treat is the trained. So you probably want to do the treat.
Right, and I can do it based off of my nature skill because I have natural
Yes.
medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll just roll nature. 14.
Oh, I see what I did. It does work. I just goofed.
Oh,
Okay.
but the normal check is 15, so I failed it.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
so I just failed it on my dinosaur. Does anybody else need healing?
I'm down a small amount.
Might as
Oh,
well, right?
quite a bit. I got bit quite a bit.
Because I have to wait an hour before helping you again, so might as well do it now. Hey, there you go, everybody. You guys get XP. So this one, I guess, will be for Vincent.
I'll treat Marv's while he's treating Vincent.
Wait, I don't
Oh,
get
nope.
40
No,
XP?
let me do
Man.
my shit first. And then I'll do Marv's. Oh, that was a
I have
failure.
to select you guys to do it.
Mhm.
I failed all of them, so it doesn't matter.
Woof.
Okay, wait. So, Steve, who did you?
Whoever Kios wasn't healing. So
Anybody
Marv's.
now.
So
No,
you-
because when you fail it on somebody, they're immune to it for an hour total for
Oh.
treat wounds.
Oh, you were also doing treat wounds. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
he's
Then I
So
just did
I'd heal
Vince.
Marv's
Yeah,
because
and
you
you do
didn't
Marv's.
do that.
Yeah.
Alright, so but if you're trained and he's untrained, is it still the immune thing or is it different kinds? Thought one was
It's the same. It's here. I'll see if I can.
thought one was a medicine check and one was a first
He
aid
does the
action.
same thing, but one
I
of
have
his
a-
feats lets him
Yeah, I have a feat.
have the thing.
Force reasons.
Did you mean to do the
Doesn't one of
scroll
you
stuff
have?
on Grenholt?
Doesn't one of you have super fast for your tree checks? Like instead of an hour, it's like 10 minutes.
No, I had that at first, but then I realized that's I need to be expert to take that one.
Ah,
Instead, I can do it in combat.
that is still useful.
Yeah.
Also, was it ever determined that you could change pictures for custom things you put into your character sheet, or?
I can change them for you. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is there something you would like me to change?
Yeah, I'm putting stances and like stance attacks in there, and I would like them to have the same icon as the melee, the powerful plus thing.
Do you want me to give them icons like you would expect tiger stance or?
Yeah, I suppose that'll probably be better. Yeah. Just
I have
you
the
know,
icons.
nice. All right.
Let's see, this is under the skill, flat skill icons.
It's just a lot
Blue.
easier to pick out if I have a picture for it, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I do that for all of my monsters because otherwise. Mega pack.
Me too.
Same.
Where are the OPSDs now?
Also, I think Vincent actually does take 1d8 of damage if Kias failed the check with the nat 1.
That wasn't the first one. The first one was 14.
Yeah, but you made 2 checks.
I think he tried to do.
I tried to
one
do
on
Marv's,
Philip.
but you did it first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Got it.
God.
Yeah, I must have busted my. Oh, there it goes. Well, that's the wrong one.
Well,
I have an actual wolf icon, but it's not letting me upload it, so I will just put it up with this one for now, and then I'll change that for now. Change this to something more tigery. I suppose that'll do for now. I have an
that'll work.
actual like claw thing for it that I'll put in later.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're at least
Like,
discernible.
yeah.
Okay, so the excitement of cockroaches ends with the dull thuds of hail still smashing on the roof and wounds being tended to. It seems that the rest of the inn has, or well, quote unquote inn, has slept through this combat encounter, probably with thanks to the hail. Let me double check something real quick. They pulled out something interesting.
I'd very much like my money back at the end of this, by the way.
Well, actually, there's something interesting that you know. I didn't do this until after, because now that you're looking, this window is slightly ajar.
I'd
I'll
like
go
to
take a
turn
look
it back
at it.
into. I'd like to turn it back into a window. For my
Dude,
dinner.
fuck off, dude.
I mean, that's fair. So there is something that they pulled out from the from underneath all this stuff. Something it's covered in dust. It must have been here for you don't even know, at least a couple of years. But it's this short, kind of squat, beat up leather sack. Whoever's trained or expert in occultism or arcana can give me a check on that.
I will do so. Occultism or Arcana? We're gonna go with the cult.
Mhm.
Should have done Arcana.
What's the total there?
14.
You're not quite sure what this is, although I feel like you should know. Maybe if you let it sit for a while and then think about it and then check at it again, it'll come to mind. That or getting some sort of reference material. You feel like you've heard about something like this before, but nothing's coming straight to mind. Anyone else that's trained in either of those can also do that.
I think you might be the only one trained in either of those, actually.
Yeah,
Well,
what was it?
that's
Occultism
fine.
and what else?
Arcana.
Yeah.
I'll take a look out the open window and see if there's anything out there.
Give me perception. Yeah, actually. So there's a lip beyond the window, right? It's got a bit of a sill. It wasn't put in very well. Some of the nails are still sticking out at ends. And around one of the nails, there's a piece of fabric, brown fabric.
I'll grab it, I guess.
Okay. You acquire a cloth scrap of some sort.
And I guess I'll shut the window and go back to bed if there's nobody else that needs to be treated.
I mean, not immediately. Wounds have been dressed and so forth. The rest is going to have to at least left somewhat to heal naturally.
Alright, yeah, then I guess I'll put my weapons and stuff back and go to bed.
Okay. I assume everyone else is going to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Continue my watch and continue the weapon maintenance.
I'm going to go ahead and brush all those cockroaches up and chuck them out the window. Just as
I
many
mean,
as
that's
I can
fair.
find. Just brush them all up and get them out of the room.
Well, before you do, I will state that they do count for each one as a day's worth of rations.
I'll point that out to
Yeah.
him. I'll point that out to him, and I am going to keep them.
All right. I
No
mean, if you're
waste.
gonna keep them, you go ahead.
No waste. Was that just +1 ration for each of them?
Well, collectively, you do have to eat a fair amount of them to get the caloric intake that you would need.
Alright, so how many rations would that equate to? 2?
Yeah, about 2.
Right.
Some of them are still a little necromancy, but they'll wear off.
Alright, we're good.
While you're down there, give me an investigate.
Me?
Wait, who? Oh, okay.
Oh, right, investigate doesn't exist for that.
And also who?
Excusez-moi. Give me a occultism.
Me?
Yes.
Fantastic.
While you're down there gathering up the scraps of cockroaches that remain, and also the large ones that were only mostly smushed, you might have to turn this into a paste to really get the nutritional content out. There is buried between two blocks of wood. They must have been skittering around all the stuff, and so they were causing stuff to shift and fall over and all that. Most of these blocks are like old. Must be more than at least 6 months old. There is a kind of like a torn parchment almost, except it's fabric that has an insignia on it. And your occultism goes to work. This is an insignia that belongs to the Highlands. It indicates that something that it was attached to belongs to the Highlands. And they're usually really hard to get off. Typically, they break or destroy whatever they're attached to when removed. And you think this was attached to the leather thing. So give me give me either a crafting or arcana, your choice. See if it gives you a flash of inspiration. It does. So you know what this leather pouch is. Your brain goes to magic items, and you go, wait, oh, it could be, but it isn't. Sadly, it is not a bag of holding, but it is something a little more interesting in some regards, a little less useful, depending. This is what's called a secured backpack. It's a heavy leather backpack whose interior has been separated into alchemically treated, rune-lined, and individually sealable pouches that assist in the preservation and securement of artifacts. Though it's not capable of carrying as much as most backpacks, artifacts won't be able to self-activate while inside this container. This is what they bring with them into ruins and ancient places to stuff things in there and bring them securely back to their facilities to be observed. Although it will have a more minimal effect, lesser magic items will not be able to self-activate while placed in here as well.
Dope.
So curses and so forth won't be able to function while inside this backpack up to a sufficient level. So add one secured backpack to y'all. Whoever would like to have it, at least.
I don't know really how bulk works. It says encumbered 5. Does that mean I become encumbered at 5?
If it's greater than that value, yes.
Oh, then somebody else might want to take it. I'm already at 5.
I'm at 5 out of 6 after carrying all those torches.
I'm at 5 out of 9.
There you go. You can take
8
it
out of
then.
8, so no.
It looks like it might be 10 L to a...
Marv, I added it to your containers.
Yeah.
Please note that you won't be able to dual wield backpacks.
I get you. Wait, can I just put the secured backpack in the other backpack?
You can stuff the backpack into the secured backpack if you like.
Alright. It does work like that. Nice.
Yep. You open up one of those pouches, are treated with a brief, gusty smell of ozone, and then mush your entire backpack into there.
Yep. It smells like spray paint. Alright.
And then seal it back up.
Yep.
Oh, this has a, now that you've got rations in there, I'll reveal another property of the secured backpack. It will also indefinitely keep any rations,
Oh, okay. Cool.
which is another reason why they bring secured backpacks with them, because they typically don't know how long they're going to be in any place.
Yeah.
So yeah, yay, the first Serzahnk made item. I have a number of mundane, interesting items for you guys to acquire.
Alright.
Note that that is a rare item. It's worth 50 pieces of gold, but you might be able to find somebody who's willing to pay more if they're a collector. However, you may want to be cautious around anyone who's from the Highlands.
What I know.
The person we're working for from the Highlands?
Oh,
One of the people that was at the auction who was interested in the Maker's Mark is from the Highlands.
Okay.
what is why would they not like me having that?
Well, technically the tag isn't there, so it's not technically theirs, but it is an item only typically given out to the Highlands, so you might attract attention.
I getcha.
All right, guys. Well, with that horrifying and yet somehow typical encounter, I believe we shall draw this session to a close, because I do not want to keep you guys indefinitely, and it is 11:52 at night now.
Indeed.
Any notes for today's game? Stuff that didn't quite work well and you didn't really have time to bring it up, etc.
I think it worked pretty well. The majority of the problem I had was just trying to figure out how to finagle the sheet around. So
Yeah, I think the only problems I have is not your fault. It's Foundry's fault. Like
yeah,
macros not working properly, or vision not working properly, stuff like that.
yeah.
If
So I
you
was saying,
if you guys could make a list of those things, I'll investigate them in the time from now to next game, and hopefully fix them.
that's what I say. I think the majority of I don't even know if you can fix it, but just being able to give myself pictures for stuff would be nice if that's possible. And other than that, that's
Oh yeah,
really
that
it.
would be nice.
Just the sheet is actually fairly intuitive. It's just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Philip, did you say you figured out how to open your character sheet without having a token, or did you just find it?
Yeah, I just found it. If you go to the thing, like you get the the combat trigger, and then there's the thing for
Like 3 people.
the third one from the left. Now, I thought that the folder was open, and I was wondering why the heck I didn't have a character sheet, but it's not. It's closed. You click on cast, and it'll pop open your characters that you own.
So you said go to, wait, you said go to encounters and then wait cast.
No,
and
it's
then
the one
cast
go
next to
to-
one to
encounters.
that, and then
Go
Yeah.
cast
to
the AI I see there.
directors or
Yeah.
actors
Yeah.
directory,
Yeah, I see.
and
I
then
just did dingus and didn't realize the folder was closed.
Okay. What else would we have problems with?
me with my dinosaur, but besides that,
Okay.
dinosaur and lighting.
Yeah, it seems like there's a couple of permissions problems that are in base Foundry that just need exceptions made.
I wonder if I'll just test this real quick and see if this works away. Did that? Okay, so it didn't pop up the. Oh well, I guess maybe it has to roll the crit before it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay.
Oops. That button wasn't labeled. The one thing that is odd, it's not a big deal, and I don't know if there's really a way to change it, but it's It's odd that you don't see what's actually rolled on the tracker.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
you see the die, but you don't, like, when he rolled that attack, you don't see the number that was on the D8.
Also, I
You
wasn't
can.
targeting.
If you
Okay.
if you click the formula, it'll pop down and show you what was
Oh, there
rolled.
it is. Okay. Got it. That's what I thought the button that I clicked on was, because it looked like gears, but that was in fact take 14 damage.
Yep. Gear is apply full damage. Down arrow is apply half. Double arrow up is apply double.
Makes sense.
Mm. Okay, so it might not do what I'm trying to make it do. I might just have to keep track of that manually, or if in Tiger's stance, if I get a crit and I hit something, they just take 1d4 persistent damage. But I don't know how to add that onto the sheet because I did it how I thought I was supposed to do it and it didn't work. So
If it's persistent damage, there is a module that's being developed right now which tracks that, but it's not quite there
okay,
yet. So just let me know if it has persistent damage, and I will track that for you.
all right. Like I said, it only happens on a crit anyway. So
Yep.
yeah.
But that's what exceptions are for. The fun.
Yeah.
I put everything that we just said in that message there. Is there anything else or anything I need to change with it?
Is your macro the macro for the rage toggle? Where's that? Is that the inside of the giant list of founding
Yeah.
macros?
I saw it on the OneNote drive. Is that where we're supposed to be grabbing macros from, or
I
is there a
think
different
so.
link?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm grabbing most of
What's
mine
it?
from.
What's it called?
Just
Hash rage.
Yeah, hashtag rage.
I think rage toggle might be the one of the ones. I think that's the one that I know worked in the one shot.
I didn't see a rage toggle on my blind.
Where are these macros you guys are getting? Where's this repository of macros?
If you scroll up a little bit, it's a OneNote link.
Oh, and
It's that,
okay.
that huge
posted.
one, yeah.
I
Alright,
just linked it again at the bottom. So,
yeah.
is there a rage toggle, and/or do you currently have access to the rage toggle macro that you can just send me the code for?
Oh, there it is.
That
it was
should be
actually
the
in the
toggle.
chat here. I'll DM it to you.
Okay. I think. Let me see. I think
It might be broken just by system updates, though. So I'm
The
gonna have to check
formatting
it
there
out.
might be wrong, but I think technically that should still work.
If you have your actor assigned, does it yell at you or not assigned? Like if you don't have anything selected, it yells at you.
It does it either way.
Yeah.
There was some refactoring that just happened with Pathfinder 2 module, where they got rid of some of the D&D 5e stuff. So the macro might be referring to one of the things that was left over from 5e. I'll have to check into that for you guys.
Not giving me an error message whenever I hit the rage button now, but don't think it's doing anything either.
Yeah, if you click on yourself and then hit the macro, it should give you a little like fist icon on the top left and pop something up at the top of your screen saying you're now raging.
Mm-hmm.
Not. Let's see. Nah, I don't think it's doing anything for me.
Yeah, I think it's just broken right now for some reason. Man, that's sad. How are you guys liking the combat mix so far?
Feels good.
I know it was
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Liking it.
okay.
I do like Foundry a lot. Seems like it definitely has potential.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's a lot more intuitive than Roll20, and it certainly loads faster, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, it helps that it's not like being run by Roll20, so I can pump my whole connection at you guys.
The one thing that would be nice, and I don't know if it exists somewhere, would be a way to end our turn without having to like go to the active encounter or the combat encounter tab and hit the
Oh,
button.
I didn't even
figured-
realize I could manually end my turn. I thought,
I figure there's got to be a way to easily macro that.
Yeah. Because like I like to, it's nice to be able to see the rolls happening, and then having to go to a different tab every time for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, folks, thank you guys so much for showing up. I appreciate your patience while we get this system up and running better, so that's not as much of a ramshackle. And I will see you guys next week, same time, 5:45 to something.
go about 9 o'clock.
yeah, that's the intent.
Alright,
Goodbye.
see ya.
See ya.
Have a good one.